Can you retouch in Lightroom? This is a very good question. The answer is yes, and also no. Retouchers, like the high-end professional retouchers, they do most of their work in Photoshop because you have more tools. It's more, I won't say user-friendly, but edit-friendly once you learn the art and skill of retouching. However, there are some tools in Lightroom that allow you to retouch, and there are some techniques that you can do in Lightroom, like dodging and burning, flyaways and hair removal, skin softening, eye brightening, teeth whitening, all things like that, that you can do in Lightroom. Is it going to be Photoshop quality? No. Is it going to be passable for most of your client work, most of your everyday work? Yes. So without further ado, let's get into Lightroom and I'll show you how to do it. My name is Will, welcome back to the channel, and as I mentioned, I'm going to show you how to retouch and clean up your images in Lightroom. First, going to start with flyaways, hair flyaways. Let's say you're shooting and it's windy and you have hair everywhere. This is very common. Now, this photo is completely unedited, and if you're going to do this kind of retouching, I highly recommend you do the removals first before the masks. So here we go. So we're gonna zoom in here. Let's press Command on the keyboard and draw a box to zoom in so we can see her face. We're gonna press Q on the keyboard to open up the remove tool and make sure generative AI is selected. Then I'm just gonna paint over the hair area and make sure you cover it all, because if you don't cover it all, Lightroom might think that you're trying to replace some of it or keep part of it, and it's going to think, okay, let me add something to it that makes sense to me. We do not want that. All right, and so now we're gonna do the face. Now this is kind of the harder part because you don't wanna cover the whole face. You don't wanna just kind of blanket the face. You want to try and be as specific with the hair as possible. Obviously, I don't expect you to spend hours doing this like I did, unless you really need to. This was a really cute photo shoot. It was a proposal engagement that turned out really good, and it was just very windy at the beach. So for this specific purpose, I did a lot more editing in this photo to make it look really good. So let me speed this up and you can kind of see what I do to really clean this up, but you want to be specific. The more specific you are, the better it will turn out. So here we go, and zoom time. All right, now that we have our whole mask and we have our spider web of masking done, we're going to generative remove it. So here we go. Now you can do what I did, where you did all of your selections at first and then you do the generative remove. You don't have to do it individually. Sometimes this works better, sometimes it doesn't work better. And sometimes once this is done, it's going to need a little bit more depending on what Lightroom replaces your selections with. You're gonna have to do some tweaks, but I have done this on many images, from my headshots to my couple shoots to my model shoots. I have done hair flyaway removals like this for, well, since it came out and I was able to do it. Here are our results. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. Now, the easiest way to see the results, because sometimes you've been looking at it so long you don't know what's different, like maybe her eye is slightly different or whatever, but you look at it and it looks fine. So you always want to do a before and after comparison, which is why you want to do this before you edit the photo. So here's the before of the face and after. Now look at all the minor details. So look at her eye, that's the first one. The eye looks fine. You'll notice the eyelid changes, right? So what we want to do is we want to select the selection that did the eyelid, which is this monstrosity of one, unfortunately, and we're going to switch it. So that looks better. That does not. So number 2 actually looks better. So let's do the before and after again. So before, after. So the eyelid looks a little bit better. The face looks fine. The lip looks fine. The nose looks fine. Let's come up here and let's try the forehead. Forehead looks okay, but what we are going to do is adjust that little freckle there. But let's look at the overall image as a whole. Before, after, before, after. Okay, it looks pretty good. Couple of adjustments we're going to make. So we're going to close the removal tool and reopen it because I just don't want to mess up anything. We're going to remove that there. And this one, we're just using the remove tool, not generative AI. We are going to switch to generative AI here, and we're going to do it right there because that little lump is not natural and Lightroom added it. So we're going to remove that. Okay, good. Let's cycle through the options here. I think number 2 looks the best. It's okay to have a little bit of flyaways in this scenario. You don't want it to look super polished, like super polished, but you know, you want it to look a little clean. So we're just going to spend a little bit of time adjusting these just a little bit here. That looks okay. Okay, good. And that looks pretty damn good. So here is our before. Here is our after. Let's zoom in on the face here so you can really see it. Here is the before and here is the after. That looks so much freaking better. So if you have flyaways, it may take some time, but it makes a huge difference with your image, and that's how to do it in Lightroom. Now, before we get into the next one, which is the skin and everything else, if you are still struggling with Lightroom, if you are having a difficult time figuring Lightroom out and how to do things, I have spent years developing a Lightroom Master of Editing course, which I have finished and it is live. Not only does it cover everything you need to know, everything that I know about Lightroom and how to edit like a master, you can get that pro look, edit faster, and just know what to do. I'll link it in the description. Go check it out because it's pretty freaking cool. And finally, obviously hit the like button because you know this video is freaking awesome. It's gonna save you a ton of time. So let's get into the next photo here. And here is our next photo where we are going to do all but teeth because there's no teeth in this image. So what we're gonna do is apply a quick edit from my Exploring Photography 2020 preset pack, Summer Breeze, which is very intense in the oranges and the blues. Now you'll notice as I brighten this up, she looks so orange, which is okay. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So we're just gonna lower the white balance a little bit. And we're gonna make a few tweaks here. We're gonna lower the blue saturation, lower the blue saturation, lower the orange saturation, kind of balance her out a little. Now, the one thing that we don't want to do yet is any masks, because if you do masks, AI masks specifically, you have to update them and blah, blah, blah. It takes a pain in the butt. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna zoom in, and the first thing we're going to do is removal tool. Do your blemish touch up first. Yes, you can do this in Lightroom. Luckily with this one, there isn't much blemishing, but just to kind of give you a little bit of a look of what I'm gonna do, we're going to just do the remove tool and just kind of remove some of these little bits of highlights. We zoom in really close, you can notice her nose ring kind of sticking out here. So we're gonna remove that, and I'm actually going to stick a little remove right there because that didn't work. I think we might have to do generative AI with this one. I don't want it to look like it's popping out, so what generative AI should do is remove the little silver thing and make it just look like it's on her nose like that. Perfect. Now this little bit of hair that you see here going across her lip and the sand, I want that because I want that beachy feel. She's at the beach. She should be a little glistening from sweat. She should be a little sandy from being at the beach. And she should have a little bit of messy hair simply because it's windy. She's been in the water, you know, things like that. The image should feel like the image looks. So the next thing we're gonna do is first the skin softening. Now, easiest way to do this is, I've showed you this in other videos, hopefully you have watched them, is not to click on the background mask. That is the complete wrong mask to click. You're gonna click this, no, you're not even gonna click the subject mask. Oh my gosh, it's been a long day. What we're gonna do is we're gonna scroll down. Let me kill this bug on my screen real quick. We're gonna scroll down to where it's detecting people because that's what we truly want. And then we're gonna click the person, and then we're going to click facial and body skin. Then we're going to click create mask. Now, if you go up here to custom, you will notice a lot of options, including soften skin light and soften skin. Soften skin is pretty intense. You'll notice that's a lot. Here's the before, here's the after. It pretty much takes away all texture known to man, or woman in this case. So we're gonna do soften skin light, which seems to keep a little bit of the texture, but also smooths everything out. So if we were to zoom in on this, here's the before and after. So it keeps the texture, it keeps the glisten, but it makes it look smoother. Now, if it's too much, you can adjust it here on this slider, and if it's too little, you can adjust it by adding more with this slider. So you have ways to adjust and tweak these things. So there's your skin. Now, if we want to do her eyes, which we definitely do because she has fantastic eyes, we're going to do the same thing. Select people, select the person, go to iris and pupil, create mask. We're gonna go up to the custom where there is, guess what? An iris enhance. Now, since there's no teeth, I'm gonna show you that you can go to the teeth whitening option as well. And when you select people, you would select teeth as the option. But again, we don't have that here, but that's how to do it. So iris enhance, and here is the before and after. Before and after, and that's incredible. And again, you have this slider where you can make it more or less. Now, with the eyes, when someone has really bright eyes like this, you don't want to go overkill because it kind of makes them look like a vampire from like Celine from totally blanking out on the movie. Oh my God, I know you guys are yelling at me right now what the movie name is. Someone throw it in my head. Oh, what is it? Underworld. That's what it is. You don't want it to, you don't want to look like, you know, your eyes are glowing. Like, well, maybe you do. If you do, this is how to do it. I'm disappointed in myself. I love those movies, and I'm very disappointed that I didn't right off the bat know what the name of it is. Anyways, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just keep it even. We're gonna zoom out here, and we have a very intense image. So here's the before, here's the after. Everything really is popping out. Now, personally, the colors of this image are a little bit intense for me, and I would dull them down, but that's not what we're doing with this image. I just wanted to make a note that this is a little bit more intense than I would normally do for an image. Actually, let me just go ahead and dull it down a little. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, good. Now, the next thing you can do for retouching is you can dodge and burn. Now, just as a quick note, even though you can do all of this in Lightroom, I actually prefer to do most of my retouching in an app called Reblum. Now, Reblum is an AI retouching software that keeps your skin texture pretty natural, but also removes all the flaws and blemishes, and you can adjust the sliders and things like that to make it exactly how you want. Now, this isn't sponsored at all by them. I actually reached out to them and got them to give me a 7-day free trial. So if you want to try it out, go ahead and click the link below, use code, I think it's WILLYT, I'll put it here, but that code will give you a free trial and I believe a discount as well. But anyways, let me show you how it works. So how I would normally retouch is I right click on it, edit in Reblum. What it does is it creates a new TIFF file, it opens it up in Reblum, and you can see the results here. Now this is full retouching. You'll notice general and texture are fully at the max. So if we zoom in here, here is the before, here is the after, before, after. And you can adjust this. You can bring back the texture, you can bring back general, whatever you want to get that exact natural or fully fashion retouching that you want. For this one, we still want her kind of dirty, so to speak. So we're gonna do about half and half, just like that, and then press OK. And this will bring us back into Lightroom. So if we look at the side by side, here's the Reblum retouching at the half retouch, and here is what I did in Lightroom just alone with the skin softening. You'll notice the skin texture is still very, very clean, but it's just a little bit smoother and makes it a little bit nicer overall. It just kind of evens everything out, and it took no time at all. Finally, the last thing I really enjoy doing, and something that I feel really makes the image pop, is dodging and burning. So here, let's zoom in here, right? Now, dodging and burning is essentially darkening the darks and brightening the brights. It's what's used in all of the contouring. And most of this, again, is done in Photoshop. So how do you do it in Lightroom? Let's press K on the keyboard. And what I'm gonna do is just paint where everything is dark. So wherever there's a shadow or anything like that, I am going to put a brush line, and you'll see what I do next. I'm assuming you can probably guess. But let's go ahead and speed this up so you don't have to wait while I do all this. Now we've done what we want. And again, you can tell I was pretty sloppy with that. I wasn't too specific, because all we're gonna do is we're gonna darken it down just a shade. I mean, not even that much, so just a little. Now we're gonna go in and we're gonna do another brush. Let's go ahead and just rename this one Burn, which is darkening. Press K on the keyboard to open up another one. So we're gonna paint right here. We're gonna do a little paint here. We're gonna paint just right there, put a little bit of dab of lightness there, a little bit on the lips, not too much. And then we're gonna zoom in and give the eyes a little touch. And then we're gonna do some highlighting on her arms, where these, basically I'm brightening the bright parts of the image where they are bright, because when you darken the darks and brighten the bright, you create contour, you create dimension, and it looks really good. So there we go. And then we're just gonna brighten this up just a touch. There we go. Yeah, looking good. It might be a little too much. Let's darken it down a little bit. Perfect. So here is the before and after. Let's go ahead and rename this one. Good. Here's the before and after of just the dodge and burn. So before, after, before, after. It just adds so much contrast and amazing oomph to your image. It just gives you that powerful, powerful look to your image. And it's super simple. Again, keep it simple. Darken the darks a bit, brighten the brights a bit. If it looks too weird, erase it a little bit. It's super easy, and you can always adjust again using these sliders right here. If it's too much, lessen it. If it's too little, greaten it. So to answer the original question of this video, can you retouch in Lightroom? Yes, but also no. Anyways, this will really help your images pop and keep you in Lightroom. Again, you can't do too much, but you can do enough to really make your images that much better. So because this video was so badass, I know you know it was, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already, and make sure you hit that little bell. That way you don't miss a video. I would love to know what you think in the comments, and please do comment, because I do respond to every single comment and actually love hearing your guys' thoughts and opinions. And it also makes me feel really good for making all of these videos. Honestly, it's nice to hear from you here and there. So with that, I thank you for watching this whole video. Here's a couple of other videos that I think you'll enjoy. Go ahead and watch one of those, and I will see you in the next video. Later.